But on a very busy day, when I went out recruiting, I would tell people that Six Flags is a small town. Think about 50,000 people in one given day. We
Oh,
have, yep. So you have 50,000 people and you are responsible for 50,000 people. You're entertaining them, they're eating. We have police officers, security officers, we have medics, we have paramedics, first aid, we have lifeguards, ride operators. We have everyone there, guest services, guest relations that will be helping out with everything. We have parking attendants. Think about it, just a small town. And one day, in one little day, that you managed a small town.
wow.
Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer.
That was my second cousin, Lacie Mayer, describing Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois, a place she called home for over 20 years. It's currently mid-July 2026, and we conclude our conversation with Lacie, who started at the bottom and rose to top-level management in her tenure at Six Flags. This episode covers spills and chills on the rides, what Code Brown might mean at the water park, and the makings of Fright Fest. Make sure you listen to part 1 first.
Okay, Boomer.
So I was going to ask you about reactions to the ride themselves. I should think people would have some fairly strong reactions. For example, as I've explained to you, I don't do upside down on rides. Batman ride, I will not disagree with you about it being a cool ride, but it made me sick for 2.5 hours. So I try to stay away from, I try to do rides I think I can handle, and I thought I could handle the giant drop. For those that don't know, that it's a tower. It goes straight up in the air and it just drops straight down. It's up, down. How simple can that be? There's no going around corners. You're not going upside down. It's up, down. And well, I got about 3/4 of the way up that thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see the horizon for so many miles away. This is nuts. And my adrenaline is just pumping. I can just feel the tension building in my body. And there's that, you get to the final top, and there's that 1.5 second, and that sucker drops it. And in my head, I am screaming every bloody, profane word, string of curses that I can think of. And when we hit the bottom, I was with my son. We get out of our things. It's a big circle that the crowd's around. They're all kind of quiet. And my son just looks at me really weird. I said, wait a minute. Did I just scream that out loud? He goes, you sure as hell did, Dad. So that long string of curses was screamed out loud, and I thought I was saying to myself, oh. So that was my strong reaction to one of the rides at Six Flags.
Awesome.
Ah.
Giant Drop's one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, good for you. I can imagine that you've seen other people have some interesting reactions to the rides.
Definitely, definitely, and it's actually famous for individuals that are causing issues. A giant drop, because what they do is they go all the way up in the air, and right before it clicks and drops you down, they throw quarters, pennies out
Oh,
on the crowd and really hurt people. So it really is.
ah.
It actually is a problem. So before you go up, you have to show the operator your hands are free of any debris or anything.
Oh boy, what knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Trying to ruin it. But if people gotten sick and thrown up afterwards, I gotta imagine that can't be that unusual.
It is not, but I don't even remember what the product is. It's like this gel absorbent, just like how, there is, gel absorbent for grease or oil for manufacturing. There is gel absorbent for throw up, and you just throw that stuff on there and it absorb it right up, and it looks like a little jelly, and you sweep it up and you're done.
So do you have jokes on that? Like, hey, we got a puker on Batman ride.
Yeah, well, a puker, but yes, but what's really bad is whenever they don't make it to the ground and they throw up on the seatbelt, and you have to get really in the little spots there and clean that
Yeah.
up. Yeah, that's really
Ah.
nasty.
Now, did you have gloves that you had to wear?
Oh, completely. Yeah, gloves. And in what a water park, you know what it's code brown is, right? For
No.
a water park.
I got an idea. Yeah. Oh
Okay.
no.
Okay, yeah.
Lord, are we getting big sticks with dip nets and we're trying to fish those little Tootsie Rolls out? Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Kids and diapers and everything like that. There's always a code brown of some sort.
Code Brown. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So you worked your way up through the various levels of management at Six Flags, and to the point where you were responsible perhaps for hiring and firing people?
Yeah, yeah. I was responsible for the whole full cycle recruitment, along with, like I said, the employee relations to uh it's everything. Honestly, it was everything. I was in charge. I had a full team. I had about, three full-time employees that was, reported to me. I reported to the director and the park president. And then what happened, we had about 20 seasonals that helped us. So these individuals who are learning HR for the very first time in their world, and we were teaching them what to do and what not to do and the onboarding. Back in the day, the paperwork, we were killing so many trees back in the day. Um, for paperwork. But yeah, we have rehires who came back, which was about 43 to 45% of our population that would come back for if it was high school to college students or individuals who just was looking for a seasonal job because they didn't want to do anything else during the summer.
Right.
So the remainder was like the new hires, but we started actually recruiting our rehires in as soon as they left. So you would receive a packet of information, so you leave on the last day of work and you're getting a packet of information saying come back on this date and you will be rehired with no questions, no answers, like we want you back.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And we would invite them back in January. And then we would start our new hire recruitment, so probably around February and March. And then we would start doing spring training dates, which is what they're probably in right now. And then the crazy thing is by the time July 4th hits, that's our peak of the season where I now start thinking about Fright Fest and vampires and ghouls and werewolves. And so I go recruiting for them. So for our Fright Fest characters. And that was always fun watching auditions of people who thought they were a werewolf or a vampire. So
That is
yeah.
awesome. I went to one Fright Fest, and I was impressed. It was more sophisticated, more professional, more orchestrated than what I was anticipating. So I was very, I was pleased with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most popular season at Six Flags. It was about 75% of the business at that time. Was
Wow.
during Fright Fest. So it's a really popular event. I think that just a lot of people like being scared. It's just one of those things that people like that thrill. And
Isn't
even though they're
it?
screaming, yeah, even though they're
Yeah.
screaming and saying that they don't want to, be scared, they really do.
That is that is an interesting aspect of our mental makeup that so many people get off on that. And it's
Yeah.
and well, you and I both you and I consider ourselves relatively sane. We got the same DNA, but yeah, we have the same interesting likes and dislikes. Very nice.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is also interesting. So, 4th of July, everyone's celebrating in shorts and, celebrating, the America and everything. And I'm like trying to think about vampires and ghouls. Um, And then about maybe it was at three or four, I mean, while I was there, 3 or 4 seasons, we had holiday in the park. So maybe about Labor Day, that's when I started thinking about, Christmas and thinking about holiday lights and thinking about Santa Claus and elves and, how do we, get the kids involved with, doing cookie making and those type of things. So, I mean, we've gone through a lot of full cycle at Six Flags. I have done so much at Six Flags. I'm so grateful for the opportunities. Without them, I would never have traveled to Ecuador, Colombia, China. I saw the Great Wall of China because of them. I went to, really recruit students for J1 students who were, wanting to have the same experience I had from Makanda, but they were coming from Colombia, Ecuador, or China. And I have the opportunity to travel the world to meet these students and get some more culture from a small town girl that I am. And
Wow.
I will say that Ecuador is beautiful, and I had all these experiences with Six Flags. So I've done so much and grateful for them.
Yeah, that is awesome. Become an international traveler on
Hmm.
on the Six Flags Great America's Ticket tab.
Yeah.
You're hiring these young people to be responsible employees, how did you select mature, responsible people to operate these rides, or how did you even decide you're going to be a ride operator, you're going to be handling tickets, or one of many other hundreds of jobs that might be there in the park?
We actually, it's up to them. Where do you feel like you're going to fit the best? Even though, uh, we all have little niches and culture and everything like that, they know where they want to be. If they feel like they're a ride operator, we're going to try them out as a ride operator. Not everyone's successful as being a ride operator. If they get in trouble and they have performed safety violations, there back in the day, if you performed two safety violations, you got demoted. You no longer can work in the rides. So you became a foods employee or a park services employee or a retail employee. You got to find your culture, and every culture in that department, I think that it's a little different, and they all act different.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when you're a rides kid. You can tell when you're a retail kid, back in the day. So it's
Okay.
interesting. I don't know what those characteristics are anymore, but that's kind of where they are. But on a very busy day, when I went out recruiting, I would tell people that Six Flags is a small town. Think about 50,000 people in one given day.
Oh,
We
wow.
have, yep. So you have 50,000 people and you are responsible for 50,000 people. You're entertaining them, they're eating. We have police officers, security officers, we have medics, we have paramedics, first aid, we have lifeguards, ride operators. We have everyone there, guest services, guest relations, that will be helping out with everything. We have parking attendants. Think about it, just a small town, and one day, in one little day, that you managed a small town.
Wow, that is awesome. A lot of responsibility. That's a happening place. Wow,
Yes, it is. Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
So, did some of those jobs pay better than others?
yeah, definitely. Some of the mature jobs, as I was growing into my career, I actually what became really known for individuals who I was trying to find out who are you as a mechanic? Are you a carpenter? Because some of the skilled trades were really hard for us to really fill. So I would be the one that was, and their job fair is saying, "What are you here for?" And they're like, "Oh, I just would like to be like a parking attendant." And I'm like, "No, you don't. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what you want to do." And I'm
Yeah,
like, "I think you would fit in warehouse." And they're like, "You
yeah.
do?" I go, "Are you comfortable? You have a driver's license, you can drive a forklift?" "Yeah." I go, "Well, why don't you interview with a warehouse?" Guess what? Then about over 2 weekends, I would fill the warehouse positions.
Nice.
I I got to know about the mechanics because I met my husband. He's a roller coaster mechanic. He
All
currently
right,
still is a roller coaster mechanic at Six Flags, so it's exciting.
cool.
He, of course, taught me a lot of things. But once again, Six Flags, if it wasn't for Six Flags, I would never have met him.
Yeah,
And once again, another great opportunity that they provided me.
that is awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Tell me about when you were interviewing some of the employees. Did you ask them if they had ever traveled out of town, as you were asked?
No, no, I don't want anyone lying to me. I know the lie.
Oh, how many
I'm,
dismissals? How many dismissals would you have over a season?
yeah, I was known as the person who you don't go to Lacey's office.
Uh-oh.
No one knew who I was. Like I was like kind of like the Wizard of Oz, type of thing. Um, yeah, it's well known that I was the one that was able to kind of have those hard conversations, and I didn't have a problem having those hard conversations. And I think that Waukegan teaching that got to me. Like I
Yeah.
got, maybe had me some thick skin there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I let my supervisors, I said, let me just do all the terminations. Let me be the bad guy. I want you guys to be the good guys. I want you to be the ones that are, doing the employee events and telling people hello and welcome and da, da, da. Let me be the bad guy. There has to be one in HR, so let me be the person. And I go, because there's no reasons for all of us to be bad guys, right? So I really took on that role, and it's known. And even my husband was at the Superman one day, and he was overhearing a conversation, and they don't know who he was. And And they said, oh, so and so, we'll call him Zach, because Zach went over to Lacey's office. And of course, yeah, I saw Zach that day. I saw my husband later in the break or in the cafeteria, and he goes, hey, did you go see Zach? Zach was in your office. I go, how do you know Zach? Well, what do you know? Like, how do you, what's going on? He goes, oh, they were talking about you on the platform. They know that they were going to Lacey's office. They said, when you go to Lacey's office, you don't come back. You got to go grab your stuff.
They show you the back door. That's
Right.
hilarious. You
Yeah.
don't know how many times
Yeah.
you had to walk that park and there'd be people nudge each other. Oh, hey, that's Lacie. I'm pretty sure that's her. Look out.
Well, mini Fright Fest, when I walked through the haunted houses, there were some fingers and things that were said to me that they were behind costumes, so they felt very protected by saying things to me. So just so you know, I'm aware.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the leading reason for being fired? Was it being late, being absent, being stoned?
Yeah, attendance. Attendance is a huge one. I tell people all the time, I still tell my employees at my new company, 85% of your success is attendance. 85%. If you just show up on time, you don't leave early, you don't call in, you just be there, you will have a job. And there were so many times that, I had to terminate an employee, and I remember this too because the kid was really, said, well, I'm really dependent on my aunts for driving me here. And I go, well, then you just tell your aunt that she got you fired because she cannot get you here on time. I go, I'm sorry to say that, but you're going to have to tell your aunt that she's the cause of it then.
Yeah. So I imagine some of the firings may have gotten a little ugly or maybe even funny.
I don't think they were funny. I will say it was most of mine were intense. I've had people, want to climb across the desk and, get closer to me. Had to call security. Yeah. So, I mean, once again, thank you, Waukegan, that you made me a tough girl.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What an
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take this opportunity right here to hear from our sponsors, okay? Brief message coming up.
Around P-Town, it's got the news that you can use. Around P-Town. AroundPtown.com, it's got the scoop with all the poop.
Ben's Barbershop, it's a place I like to stop. Whether it's to get a fancy do or just buzz off my mop, Ben's Barbershop. It's a place I like a lot, and you'd like it too if you did your do at Ben's Barbershop. That's Ben's Barbershop in Morrison, Illinois. Look 'em up on Facebook, make an appointment, tell 'em Jimmy I'm a doofus sent you.
Tell me about one employee, seasonal or contractual, that you won't forget.
Wow, I have so many, I think. I think that's the thing is like whenever I was when I was just in the rides department, I had so many friends and a culture of just camaraderie that I always wanted to be them, and I didn't want the change. I liked being there for work. I really enjoyed everyone. So, but as a HR manager, I think the people that you remember the most are the ones that cause you problems. I mean, HR is like a principal at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bad students, the good students you don't necessarily know, so I think that those individuals I will always remember.
Yes. So tell me about one of your worst days at 6 Flags, the one where you went home and you just wanted to flop on the couch and drink a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah, there was an injury that happened, a very severe injury that really shook me up in regards to it, and I've never experienced that in my life, and so unfortunately, the person passed when they went to the hospital, and that was just kind of a tough day for the whole team. I think that was always a shaken up, but they were not in the right place. And I think that's where, we love humans, but we just want humans to follow rules and like look at the barricades for a reason. You can't go grab your hat, or you cannot go grab those items because you think that it's important. But just follow the rules and you will be safe.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, death is tough. So let's
Yeah.
flip it. Great day.
Yeah.
Great day at Six Flags meant what? What happened on a great day?
On a great day at Six Flags is no one got hurt. Everyone walked out. Everyone's great. We were able to have little to no downtime on all the rides. If that was a successful day, working well together as a team, and walking away just thinking we had a successful day. We made everyone happy. And you know what? We were all sweating. And it was probably a hot day. So I think that those were some of those great successes.
Oh, it's always good to have those.
Yeah.
Customers can be difficult though. And I know some of the customers for the few times that have been to Six Flags or even to other amusement parks, the ones that really gave me the problems were the watching line cutters. I'm watching line cutters. I'm thinking, you, dear, who are you? What am I, common restroom bacteria? You can cut in line in front of me?
Yeah.
How did you deal with people like that?
You know what? I don't know if it's just the way I speak or the way I carry myself, but it was very easy. You just get to the back of the line. So you got reported, you got back to the line. It's easy. Like let's just show everyone respect. Yes, you showed up late. Your party's over there. Yeah, too bad. Your party's going to have to meet with you in the back of the line.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people understood, but now because the world's changed from COVID, we have reservations. You can have reservations to go on lines and those type of things. So, the world's changed. Like not too many line cutters anymore, and if they are, it's very little.
Well, I am glad to
Yeah.
hear that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So were you there during COVID? Wow.
Yes, I was the HR manager. I was one of the 7 people that was still working full time, 100%. In my house, I was doing very first time video Zoom interviews with candidates. So that was very new to us. So yeah, I was the sole HR person, along with my director of HR was still, of course, working. But yeah, I was one of the 7 that was still working during COVID.
Wow. Can't imagine that.
Yeah.
So what are you most proud of in your 13 years at Six Flags Great America?
Well, I will say it was more than 13 because my seasonal, 13 full time because they don't count seasonal, but this is a controversy in itself. But I was there for over 20 years
Okay.
and which is exciting with seasonal and full time experience. But I will say that I'm just proud of the fact that I was able to really grow into the person I am now, and Six Flags helped me grow into that person. And without them, I don't think I would have had some lessons learned and also, part as well, and some experiences. And you know what? Best part is me, my husband, right? So
Yay.
right now, it's a great story, I think.
Good. And you're enjoying
Yeah.
where you're at now? I think it's called Parker Plastics.
Yeah, we make plastic bottles. Yep, we make plastic bottles. If you think about it, when you go to a party, you have to blow up 50 balloons and they all have to be the same size.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? We blow up about 200,000 balloons, bottles, and they all have to be the same size. So that's what we do. Yeah, we blow plastic.
Yeah, I blow plastic.
Yeah.
But you're in the HR in that HR capacity with that place. Very good.
Yeah, I'm the human resources manager is there as well. So same trials and errors that I've had at Six Flags continues with the career of HR.
Right. Which is another thing we have in common because at one point I was thinking about getting out of education and got a master's degree in human resources.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know.
Good for you.
Well, I never used it. I used it in the sense that it helped move me down the salary scale, move me up the salary scale as a teacher. And it actually did a good job of teaching me how to teach because I focus on those types of courses. So
Yeah.
another thing we have in common, it's been so much fun talking with you, Lacie. I really have enjoyed it.
Thank you.
What else do you want to share with me about your experiences?
Nothing. I think that I felt like I gave you a recap of it. I think that
Mhm.
you learned a little bit more about me, didn't realize some things about you. And I think it was a great opportunity. And finally, family got connected and we were able to do this.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad that we were able to do that. Thanks so much for spending an hour with me. It's been getting nice to know a relative, a new one now, one that I actually know more so than a name, and for sharing with us what I think is well, as you already said, it was one heck of a ride, pun intended, with your
Hmm.
2 decades there at Six Flags. Thanks so much for being a part of it.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to just tell my story. It's kind of nice to reminisce.
Yeah.
Okay, Boomer. Shut up. And kids, don't forget to be checking in with AroundPtown.com. It's got all the news that you can use. Stay hip, stay classy with AroundPtown.com. And for you fellas that want that hip and classy look, well, then you're going to want to get your butt to Ben's Barbershop chair. That's right, Ben's Barbershop. Look him up on Facebook.com. He's in Fulton. You make an appointment, you're going to love it. If you enjoyed listening to Boomer here, he'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to his podcast so you'd get notifications of when the next episode's coming up. Maybe leave a rating on a review. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe. That helps the podcast grow, and it makes the little fella feel so much better. And if you have any feedback for him, go ahead and contact him at ttaudioworks@gmail.com. Again, that's ttaudioworks@gmail.com. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.